fight week. And guys, we got a big card coming up this Saturday night. We have Dricus du Plessis, the middleweight champion of the world, our African king, taking on another Dagestani crotch sniffer, and Khamzat Chimaev, one of the most dominant grapplers we've ever seen grace the octagon. And guys, this is one of those main events where I'm very, very excited for. A lot of anticipation has been coming about for this fight, and the fight card itself is pretty great, especially considering where our cards have been lately. So I'm just excited for this fight this weekend. I will be breaking down every fight from this card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the big banger main event, and I will be giving my picks and predictions on the upcoming fights this weekend. With the prelims, I will be keeping them somewhat short and sweet. Once we get into the main card, I will go a little more in depth in breaking down these bigger matchups. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the video today. I've been doing very good on picks since I have started making these videos, and I could not be more excited for the fights this weekend. And kicking us off, we have the flyweight Ultimate Fighter season finale. We have Alibi Idris and Joseph Morales. Joseph Morales had a short stint in the UFC, losing his debut fight against Daverson Figueiredo. Alibi Idris is from Kazakhstan. He is what I thought was going to be a boring grappler. I watched a little bit at the beginning of the Ultimate Fighter until the robbery started happening. However, this guy is very quick, very dangerous, and very powerful on the feet as well. So that's why I will be picking him to beat Joseph Morales. I honestly think Joseph Morales is a UFC level fighter, so I won't be surprised if we see him back to prove himself once more after he loses this weekend. But this Alibi guy, I think he's a future top 15 guy. He is really good. A really good grappler, has the has that area of the world grappling he likes a lot, so he'll be able to wrestle well. He's quick and explosive on the feet and quite dynamic compared to Joseph Morales, and I think this will just take him on to victory. Moving on. Whoa, I scrolled up fast. Moving on, we have the welterweight final, the Ultimate Fighter finale between Rodrigo, I'm not going to even attempt to say his last name, against Daniil Donchenko from Ukraine. We have Brazil versus Ukraine here. I'm going to keep this one short. Daniil Donchenko wins. His striking's pretty dynamic on the feet, solid Muay Thai base. He's very gritty. I think he will be athletic enough to stop Rodrigo's slow takedown attempts if he decides to take it there, but also think speed is going to be the enemy of our boy Rodrigo over here. I think Daniil will be too quick on the feet and will take advantage, chew up his legs, and just keep him at bay and be able to out-damage him for a decision win. Oh, meant to say, I got Alibi third-round finish, either submission or knockout or TKO. Moving on for this, guys, this is a big women's flyweight bout. This is huge. This is what we've really been wanting to see, guys. Karine Silva and Dione Barbosa. We have really been wanting to see this. Now, if you want the real in-depth, technical, we're going to be breaking down footwork, hand placement, and head movement. I did that yesterday on my Technical Tuesdays over on my OnlyFans. So if y'all go pay me $69 a week, you will be able to see my hour-and-a-half breakdown of this great fight. I'm going with Dione Barbosa because she has already beat Karine Silva. And in women's fights, I think if you beat a lady once, you're going to beat her again, as the great John Jones would say. Moving on. Or Epstein. I feel Jeffrey Epstein probably likes that quote as well. If you beat a lady already, you will beat her again. Moving on. I'm actually quite excited for this fight. I like watching Brian Battle fight. He's a character. Sultan Royzaboyev. Don't let the EV scare you at the end of his name. He's decent. Don't get me wrong, he has a physicality advantage over Battle, I believe, but I'm going to be taking Bryan Battle. Bryan Battle's coming off a win over Randy Brown, and I'm primarily basing this off that, but I think Battle may lose this first round and win a scrappy decision. I think that's what's going to happen. Bryan Battle is great at drawing guys into brawls, and I think Rozaboyev doesn't have the best fight IQ. And I think as long as Bryan Battle does his best to keep him on the back foot, I think Bryan Battle can land strikes at range and outdamage him for a decision win. Quick thing I wanted to say about this fight is we need to root for guys like Bryan Battle who actually have an interesting character of the human that they are and a decent fight style. So guys like this we need to be rooting for just so we can make the sport more entertaining and not have more NPCs, Eurasians, Russian, Aldo Akbars in our sport because it's getting old at this point. But I'll be taking Bryan Battle by 29-28 scrappy decision win. Moving on, we got Edson Barboza and Drakkar Klose. It's been the year of the Unk, and I'm going to be taking another Unk right here. I'm going to take Edson Barboza to defeat Drakkar Klose. Edson Barboza is coming off a loss against Lerone Murphy, but also coming off a win against a guy like Sadiq Youssef, who is solid. And he is also returning to lightweight, which makes me like his chances even more because I think the cardio will be better. And, just the wear and tear he has on his body for fighting so long, I think won't be as big of a factor up at lightweight. And I think it'll also help with his takedown defenses. And takedowns are really the only way I see Drakkar winning. And we haven't seen the best, wrestling ability from Drakkar Klose. So I'm going to be taking Edson Barboza to win a decision. Maybe a late round TKO, KO. But, yeah, you're the Unk. I'm taking the Unk. I think Edson Barboza is the better striker. I think he'll have good cardio and good better cardio and better durability now up at lightweight in his later age. And I don't think Klose is that good. Barboza has still been fighting some, top 25 featherweights his last 4 or 5 fights. And I like that against a guy like Klose who doesn't have the best wins on his record. Moving on. Chase Hooper. Roman Kopylov's father, Chase Hooper. Ben Askren's nephew, Chase Hooper. Prayers, T's and P's for Ben Askren, thoughts and prayers. Taking on Alexander Hernandez. Now, this fight's kind of weird. We've seen Alexander Hernandez early in his career beat some decent competition and ended up being in a main event fight night against Donald Cowboy Cerrone at a point in his career, which is really interesting to look back at. However, I'll be taking Chase Hooper here. He's coming off some good vet wins over guys like Clay Guida and Jim Miller. And the guys Hernandez has been, let's take a look real quick. I can't remember. I was just looking at this. The guys Hernandez has beat lately are Kurt Hollaba and Austin Hubbard. And before that, he lost to Bill Algeo and Damon Jackson. And I don't think either of those guys are in the UFC anymore. I know for a fact Damon Jackson ain't. And I think Chase Hooper, with his control and his improved durability and a few tricks up his sleeve striking-wise, is going to get this fight done for him. I think he'll be able to control Hernandez easily on the ground, and I think we're going to see a dominant Chase Hooper win. I like a third-round submission by Chase Hooper. Alexander Hernandez, just a guy you never want to pick to win on these, when you're picking, because he's probably not going to win, and you never know about that guy. And I trust Chase Hooper a lot in this fight. I think just the momentum being on his side and such, I think he's going to come in there with confidence and get it done out there Saturday night. We're going to move on to another great fight that we've just been clamoring and sweating for. Jessica Andrade and Lupi Godinez. Now, guys, we've been really excited about this fight. We've been thinking about this fight for the past 2 months, ever since Lucky Lauren Murphy retired. We were very sad about that, but we're going to get another one of our favorite fighters in Jessica Andrade. We just love these women UFC fighters. We love them. We love watching these fights. They're so awesome, and I'm so glad this is up high on the prelims. It's great. Also, go ahead and, like I said earlier with that other amazing fight between Karine Silva and Diane Barboza, if you want the real hour-and-a-half deep breakdown into this amazing matchup in technical battle that we're going to see some of the highest we're going to see some of the highest level of MMA you've ever seen with this fight, guys. It's going to be real high level, and it's so interesting. Go look at my OnlyFans and you'll see, guys, how well I break this amazing fight down. I'm taking Jessica Andrade. She's still been fighting, the good women on top of the. She recently lost against Juzevicius at flyweight. She's pretty good. And Godinez, her wins are against cans in the strawweight division. And Andrade has finishing ability, and I just trust her more to get this done against a super, super mid fighter in Lupi Godinez. So I'm taking Jessica Andrade by second round TKO. Because this fight's exciting. We love women's fights. We love them so much. Moving on. That's good. GM3, Gerald Meerschaert will be taking on Mikhail Olashashik. I'll be taking Mikhail Olashashik. That's pretty good pronunciation. Gerald Meerschaert, he's 37, coming off a loss. I like the thump of that Polish man's fists. I like the power he puts out. Underratedly athletic. I think it's going to be very hard for GM3 to be able to get him to the ground and look for submissions and control against a guy like Olashashik. Very underrated boxing for the middleweight division. I think he'll be able to work his boxing and attack the body and the head and mix it up really well on the feet. And I think it's going to be very hard for Gerald to enter and get him to the ground. And if this fight stays on the feet, which it will, in my opinion, Mikhail is obviously the pick here with his dangerous boxing style. And I know we've seen Kevin Holland submit Mikhail Olashashik, but that was more of an athletic, kind of physical dominant type of win for Kevin Holland. And before that, Mikhail was dropping him. And Kevin Holland has a good chin. I'm going to take Olashashik by first round KO. I do not think it makes it out of the first round. I think he's going to be able to find the targets that he wants on Gerald Meerschaert really quickly. He has very sharp boxing and good technical ability on the feet, and I don't think GM3 is going to be able to handle that. Moving on. Underrated fight right here. I'm not calling him King Green. Bobby Green. Hey, yeah, man, Bobby Green. Bobby Green versus Carlos Diego Ferreira. One of the most underrated lightweight fighters of this generation. I'm taking Diego Ferreira by second round knockout. Diego Ferreira packs some power in those hands. I think he's going to be confident coming into this fight after seeing King Green. Oh. Hey, young man, Bobby Green. After seeing Bobby Green take some brutal knockouts. And while the roughy spinning back kick was awesome and beautiful to see, there wasn't that much power behind it. It kind of just grazed the temple of Bobby. And I think most guys at the lightweight division, that's not putting out most of the time with just how the strike landed. So I'm taking Diego Ferreira by second round KO. I think Bobby may look pretty decent in the first round, maybe stuff a couple grappling exchanges that Diego Ferreira initiates. Maybe Bobby steals round one, or it's kind of close. But I see him worrying about the grappling situations quite a bit going into that second, third round if it makes it to the third round. And I think Diego is going to take great advantage of that and put hey, young man, we're going to take Bobby Green down, man. we're going to take Carlos Diego Ferreira by knockout in the second round against Bobby Green, mainly due to the fact of his durability and chin is horrible now at this point in his career. And I think Diego Ferreira has still been looking good. I know he's took some losses recently against Grant Dawson. Bobby's KO over Grant Dawson was pretty fluky in my opinion. Either way, I think Diego Ferreira is a bad matchup for Bobby in this point of his career, and I think he's going to knock him out in the second round. Moving on. Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Now, I know pretty much everybody is picking Kai Asakura, and I think we're kind of underestimating Tim Elliott in the competition he's fought in the UFC. Now, let's take a look at this real quick. Let's go ahead and slide over to Tapology real quick. Let's look at the guys Tim Elliott's fought recently. He beat Sumar Darji. Now, Sumar Darji is not the best technical guy. I don't know why these blonde women are popping up as ads. I need to get an ad blocker. They know I like blondes, man. But beat him with an arm triangle choke. Lost Muhammad Mokaev, which you would expect. Beat a guy like Tagir Ulanbekov. And he's been fighting, that top 20, top 25 guys at flyweight. And you go take a look at these guys Kai Asakura's fought and risen. Now, he lost to Pantoja. His only UFC fight was a debut champion. Beat Juan Archuleta. Juan's not too bad. He was a Bellator boy. Not too bad. But he's lost to a couple, he lost to Horiguchi. He lost to another guy in Risen in 2021. Lost to McNell Cape in 2019. And I don't know if this is more of a feeling, more of a gut level pick. But I'm going to be taking Tim Elliott. I think Tim Elliott's not going to be surprised with anything Asakura throws his way. Tim Elliott's not like Cody Durden. He's quite a bit more durable. I think Tim Elliott doesn't care when he walks in that octagon. He's going out there and he's going to go out there to win and get a paycheck. And I think Asakura may feel quite a bit of pressure. And I know guys, debuting from other promotions usually win their second fight as of recently. But I'm taking Tim Elliott by decision. I think he's going to out-grapple him. I think Asakura probably will win that first round and maybe gas himself out. And I think Elliott's going to put a lot of pressure on him that Asakura is not going to like whatsoever. And I think it's going to be hard for Asakura to do much damage to a guy like Tim Elliott. He's very durable. And I think he wins by decision, by grappling control, maybe submission in the late rounds. This is more of a gut-level pick, underdog play. If you're a gambling man like myself, you like Tim Elliott. However, I won't be gambling because gambling is bad sometimes, except when you win. But I don't win that much. But I'm going to be taking Tim Elliott, the underdog play. I like the pick. I don't think he lost to Pantoja. I just don't trust his resume. And I trust a guy like Tim Elliott who's been in the UFC a while and is able to put good pressure on guys and be durable. Moving on. Now, we got Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page, MVP. He does this. What's he doing like this? He does that all the time. I know everyone's picking MVP. And I don't think a lot of people are going to like this take, and I hope I'm wrong. I think Jared Cannonier is going to stink this fight up. I don't even think he'll really get MVP to the ground more than once, if at all. But I think the physical advantage of Jared Cannonier and him not being super slow, and a guy like MVP who is quick, but if I think Cannonier is going to cut off the cage half decently, I think Cannonier is going to hold him up against the fence and try to do some mid-dirty boxing. I think this is going to be a super boring fight. Maybe Michael Venom Page steals a round off of him, just, landing, maybe rocking him in, round 2 or 3. But I think Jared Cannonier is going to stink this fight up, and I think he's going to win a boring decision. I just hope it's not a boring decision. I wouldn't mind MVP winning just because it's kind of fun, and, he's a fun guy to watch. Jared Cannonier's a fun guy to watch a lot of the times, too. But I think Cannonier's going to stink this fight up. I think he's going to make it boring and grimy, and he's going to press him against the fence, and we're going to see Jared Cannonier get like a 29-28, maybe even split decision win. It's going to be a stink fest. And this sucks because when this fight got announced, I was actually really pumped for it. I thought it was a cool, fun matchup. Just a cool fight. There's not a lot of stakes on it, but I thought it was a cool fight. Good entertainment value. However, I was thinking about it, and Cannonier's a guy who's going to go up there and stink it up. I hope he doesn't. I hope he goes out there, and I hope this is a nice kickboxing match on the feet, MMA style. I'm really hoping I'm wrong about this with the style of the fight at least. But I'm going to be taking Jared Cannonier by stinky split decision. Stinky. It's going to be a stink fest, guys. Moving on to what should be the co-main event of the evening. We got Jeff Hands of Steel Neal taking on our Cigarette King, Carlos Prates. I'm going with the majority here. I'm taking Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is quick on the feet. He's going to... Jeff Neal can stink it up with some clinch work. However, I think Carlos is going to be too quick. I don't think he's going to let himself be put on the back foot. And I think he'll be able to outmaneuver Jeff Neal on the feet, keep him at bay with nice teeps and calf kicks, and use his rangy arms in hands to finish Jeff Neal late in the third round. I'm going Carlos Prates late third round knockout win. Jeff Neal, I like Jeff Neal actually quite a bit, even though he's been arrested a lot. Ironically. Ironically, he's been arrested quite a few times, but I like Jeff Neal. I like his fight style most of the time, but I don't think he has good boxing, but I don't think his solid, good, well-rounded, basic boxing is going to be able to outmatch a guy like Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates, who really is a pretty nasty, powerful, quick technician on the feet. He's a very exciting young prospect. I'm hoping he wins this fight. I will be rooting for him. I love smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey. He's really cool. And I see a guy like this guy do that. You know, this little fighting nerd. I like Carlos Prates in this matchup. I think this is kind of simple. I think he'll use his range well. I think that Ian Gary fight is actually going to do him, by losing that fight and seeing what he did in that last round, I actually think it's going to do him very well for his career. And I think he's going to go out there and remind us of who Carlos Prates really is. And he's going to be smoking a lot of cigs and drinking a lot of whiskey after this fight. And Jeff Neal may as well, but he also may get arrested after that because he's been arrested quite a few times. However, we still like him because he's a good fighter, and we like Jeff Neal. But, oh, God, I almost choked on my nicotine pouch. Oh, my goodness. Carlos Prates, our cigarette king, will be winning this fight. Moving on to our co-main event of the evening, we got Lerone Murphy, a British boy, taking on Aaron Pico, a Bellator boy. Lerone Murphy is going to school Aaron Pico and make him look stupid. Let's take a look at who Aaron Pico has fought and lost to in Bellator. Let's take a look at that, and you tell me right now you think Aaron Pico is going to win with your stupid, oh man, y'all must have never seen a Bellator card before, because these guys are just, no, these stupid, oh, I'm a hardcore MMA fan, I watch Bellator. Yeah, buddy, I watch that Bellator. I watch PFL. No, man. No. He lost to Jeremy Kennedy and Adam Borix, who are like top 5 featherweights in Bellator. And you know what that means UFC-wise? You know what that means? That means you're on the brink of getting cut in the UFC. That's how bad these guys are. I've watched a few of these fights, and I'm absolutely outraged that this guy is in our co-main event in the UFC. You'll see some of these earlier wins and some of these right here. And yeah, Aaron Pico's athletic, good wrestling, horrible control technique. He can't control anybody except a couple of, they look like potheads out there fighting. And boxing's good. His head stays like this. He just tightens his neck and he does this. And he throws some nice, crisp, powerful punches. But find a guy like Lerone Murphy. It's just silly. It's silly. Lost to Jeremy Kennedy. Lost to Adam Borix. Henry Corrales. And almost lost to Henry Corrales again. All the way up here. He didn't almost lose, but he didn't look. He was tubby. You should have seen the guy. Oh, man, and they're going to talk, man, he beat Pedro Carvalho. You don't know about Pedro Carvalho? No, but I do, and he's not good. He's not UFC level. And Lerone Murphy, he just showed you in his last fight against Josh Emmett, however you may think about his fight style, I don't think he's that exciting. I think he could be, and I think maybe him putting out Aaron Pico in the third round, that's my prediction, third round KO, Lerone Murphy. Putting a guy out like Aaron Pico is what's going to boost him up somewhat. He's not the most entertaining guy. You can't really hate on him. Not much to hate about, except he's not the most entertaining. But, yeah, Lerone Murphy's very solid and technical on the feet. He's very good at reading. He's very good at reading his opponents. Very good at picking his shots. And he's just going to dissect Aaron Pico and beat him up super bad. Aaron Pico will not land a single takedown. And if Aaron Pico wins, I'll do whatever the top comment says I'll do, unless it's really bad. But I don't know, man. I'll give away $10 if I get one comment on this video and Aaron Pico wins. I'll giving away 10 big ones. 10 V-Bucks, 10 clams, $10 coming your way via Venmo if Aaron Pico wins this fight. Aaron Pico's not UFC level. He's athletic. This is an embarrassment to the sport, the fact that he's the co-main event, and Dana White and the UFC thinks we care so much to watch Aaron Pico fight a co-main event against Lerone Murphy. It's pathetic and it's disgusting. So that's how I feel about this fight. So Lerone Murphy, third round knockout. And I can't, this is going to be such a big hate watch. Not even that I hate Aaron Pico that much. The fact that it's being shoved down our throat as a co-main event for what is a pretty dang good card. Yeah, I'm upset about that. Very much so. Moving on. This fight gives me goosebumps, man. Makes me chilly. Gives me goosebumps. We have Dricus du Plessis, DDP, our African king, taking on Khamzat Chimaev. Boris. He's going to have the Sigma Wolf shorts. Sigma Wolf shorts. Dricus du Plessis will win this fight in the 4th round by submission. He will win this fight in the 4th round by submission. I promise you. Khamzat Chimaev may or may not get a 10-8 round in the 1st round. May or may not. It's going to be a dominant 1st round for Khamzat Chimaev. He will not sniff a finish of Dricus du Plessis. He will not sniff a submission. He may land some nice ground and pound, but he will not sniff a finish against Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis is going to win this fight by 4th round submission. We will beat the Chechen. No, I'm kidding. But I'm taking DDP, man. I've been thinking about this fight a lot. And the reason Khamzat beat Whitaker was the size disadvantage, for sure. And just his ability to straight up overpower and take down and control Robert Whitaker and lock in a neck crank, in which he didn't even get under the neck. I mean, he did shatter Robert Whitaker's teeth, but you're not doing that against a Chad like Dricus du Plessis, man. The guy who just mauled you. You're not doing that against him. I don't see a way Khamzat finishes this fight in the 1st round. And I think he's going to get excited in the 1st round and put everything out in that 1st round. And Dricus is just going to keep coming and coming. He's just going to keep coming forward, man. He's just going to keep coming forward. He's not going to be scared to get taken down. He trusts himself. He trusts his striking. He trusts his grappling. And I think Dricus on the feet is just going to land some weird and awkward strikes that Khamzat Chimaev's not great striking defense is just not going to be able to defend, man. He's going to land some leg kicks. He's going to wear out his legs. I think he'll establish a nasty jab. I think grappling-wise, Khamzat is quicker, yes. But on the feet, man, Khamzat, all you're getting is some big old power, some big old meaty hooks, some big old overhands. And I just got Dricus winning this fight in the 4th round by submission. And pretty much how I think it'll happen is Dricus is going to be peppering him with some nice shots. At some point, there will be a grappling scramble. Dricus du Plessis will either end up on the back or on top of Khamzat Chimaev. And I see Dricus du Plessis either recreating the Israel Adesanya rear naked choke or possibly like an arm triangle or something like that. I think his cardio will hold up. He's been a different man since he's got that nose surgery. And I do not believe Khamzat will be able to finish this fight in the 1st round. And if he decides to play like, hey, let's reserve our energy, he's not Khamzat Chimaev anymore, and he's not even that much of a dangerous fighter if you decide to do that. Because what makes him so special is those crazy fast and explosive takedowns and his absolute mauling ability on the ground. And he may get that to work in the 1st round, but he will not finish Dricus in the 1st round. And Dricus will take advantage of him being worn out and submit him in the 4th round. And our African king will remain king, and we will have the debate of whether or not Dricus du Plessis is the middleweight GOAT or not. And yeah, I'm super, super excited for this fight. That face-off is gonna be so intense. We finally see Khamzat in a title fight, which is cool. But yeah, I just can't wait for Dricus to win and shut everyone up and then Khamzat get malaria or something because he's sick every other day. He's gonna have like mountain goat flu or something. He's gonna have to sell some of his goats for a mRNA vaccine from Bill Gates or something. But yeah, Dricus du Plessis is gonna go back to South Africa, drink a pint or 15 after this fight, after he's smoking on that Boars pack. And I just can't wait to watch it, and I can't wait to make a video showing how right I was about this fight. Now, the other picks, I won't lie, I'm not super confident in a lot of these picks. It's kind of a weird fight card, especially with kind of how I decided my picks for this weekend's pay-per-view. But like I said, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that nice little bell icon next to it so you get notified every time C-Noel MMA uploads a fantastic video about UFC/MMA. But hopefully my picks are good again like they've been lately, and I hope you guys enjoy this fight card Saturday. I'm hoping to get a video out reacting to the press conferences Thursday, and hopefully Friday I'll have like an interesting new type of video that I haven't made before out for y'all, something to kind of cleanse the palate before the big pay-per-view Saturday. Like I said, like and subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and I'll see y'all next time. Get ready. It's UFC pay-per-view weekend. Let's go!